Disclaimer, this video is going to sound horrible because there's freaking wind. Screw the wind. Today we're going to be learning how to do the crank flip on the BMX. I'm going to be showing you on flat here today, but I would recommend doing it out of a bank. I wouldn't say quarter pipe, that kind of hurts. But first step doing crank flip is pedaling back. You're actually going to want to pedal forward a little bit and then pedal back to here, and that's when you want to flick it back because you need to get the momentum going before you flick it. Vice versa, if you're right foot forward, you want to start probably about down here, pedal backwards until you get to like here, and flick it back. I'm going to show you how to flick it right now. So for the flick on a crank flip, you have to make sure your heel, almost your heel, is on the pedal. Usually you ride about right here, maybe here. For a crank flip, you want your foot to be much farther forward on the pedal because that allows you to point your foot down and flick it back. You're not just lifting your foot up and it magically goes. You have to flick it backwards. So that's why I said earlier, you want to wait until you pedal backwards to here because then you can flick it back. Same thing, right foot forward. You want your right foot to be about here on the pedal. You flick it back. Now it's going to be hard to committing to getting your feet on the pedals, but that is why you want to learn this before you actually try hop crank flip or crank flip out of the bank. It's called a laser flip. You might have known that. Just do it on the flat ground and your wheels don't even come off the ground. I basically did the steps I just told you. So I pedal backwards a little bit, I point my foot down, and then I flick it back. Now when you catch it, it's different than a tail whip. Usually on a tail whip, you kind of just clench your feet together and catch the cranks. On this, you can definitely catch it on the pedals if you try and commit. It's easy for me to commit to the pedals because I got, shin pads, knee pads. So I would definitely say have shin pads and knee pads, especially if you got metal pins like my pedals. I'll get to that in a minute. If you don't have pins on your pedal, it will be hard to kick it. It's still definitely possible. I got metal pins here, so it's easy for me to, kick it around. Another thing is that if you have a free coaster or tight cranks, they might not come around, or a tight chain, as a matter of fact. It won't be easy for the cranks to come around. But I got very loose chain, I got metal pins, and cassette, so I do a lot of crank flips, so they come around pretty easy. Now comes the fun part of the video. I'm going to try to apply all the steps I just told you and try to do a laser flip switch-footed. Completely different. I've done a couple of them, just for fun, but it's hard. So let's give it a shot. Oh, almost got it first try. Hey, second try. So as you can see in that replay, I applied the same steps as I showed you earlier in the video. I started out by pedaling backwards a little bit and then kicking it with my heel on the pedal and my foot pointed down, and the pedals went perfectly around. I caught it on my pedals. There isn't really much I can say about the catch. Once again, that's kind of just a committing thing. You're gonna have to figure that on your own. But that is how you crank flip. Now here's some footage of me doing crazy crank flip combos at the skate park.